Chapter 13. Ray. Josiah wasn't the only one who needed the release. Ray would have teased longer, but he couldn't take it. Josiah's little movements, his soft size, his tight muscles, all of those tiny things drove him wild, and his hard-on raged in his pants. It ached, and as soon as he stepped out of Josiah's bedroom, he groaned. It took him no time to work up to his own orgasm with thoughts of Josiah in his brain. He usually had a rule against virgins, but discovering pleasure alongside Josiah made the experience fresh again. He took his pleasure stretched across the couch, and he jerked himself until all his pent-up energy traveled out of him through the throbbing head of his cock. Afterwards, his head pounded as he used his shirt to mop up his mess. He hadn't been prepared for the intensity of his orgasm, and he paid for it with a splitting headache and a raw shaft. Luckily for him, Josiah took much longer, and he snuck in a nap before they finished the video with flushed post-pleasure expressions. For the rest of the evening they lay around, limbs intertwined, bodies languid, drifting in and out of sleep. They ate a late dinner and an early breakfast before returning to their usual daily activities. It was a reluctant re-immersion for Ray because he wanted to soak up more of Josiah's warmth, listen to his steady breathing, get lost in the woodsy scented lotion clinging to his skin. However, Josiah had shaken a bit of his depressive mood and had fallen back into his own work, filming several more videos over the next few days. Ray's work was routine, but he enjoyed it all the same. A week after they posted the boyfriend tag video, 3 weeks after they had made their fake relationship public, his business partner, Gwyneth, called squealing his name through his cell phone. They had been in touch, but loosely, as there weren't many updates during a quarantine. Their fast-paced go-go-go lifestyle had slowed to a crawl, and while Ray had found himself enjoying it, his co-workers and employees weren't as much. Oh my God. Have you seen the news? About the virus? Yeah, the cases are going up in places where people are choosing not to follow the rules. It's insane. I think the president should issue an executive order. Gwyneth groaned. Okay, yes, I agree. It's crazy, really, but what's also crazy is how much attention you and Josiah are getting, like, everywhere. When Hugh told me about y'all's dumb fake relationship idea, I wasn't for it, but your approval rating has skyrocketed, and being attached to him has brought much more attention our way. UNF, this may be our best quarter yet, and while everyone is locked down too. Well, people need to make investments now, more than ever, really. People are scared, and I hate to capitalize on fear, but it's kind of been our job all along, so it's not like we're promoting it, we're just, well, working. I know, but who would have thought all you needed was a nice little relationship to improve your image and start lifting our stocks? If you would have told me this 6 months ago, I would have laughed in your face. Well, thanks, I think. You're very welcome. Have you seen the video? Which? The video of you and him. The one he posted. The one you freaking filmed. Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Okay, well frankly, you should watch it because you guys are so freaking cute. To be honest, if I didn't know any better, I'd think this little gig you guys have going on is more than some little arrangement. And when you guys turn the camera off to make out? Fuck. You could see the lust in both of y'all's eyes. Okay, Ray groaned. Don't remind me. Remind you of what? Remind me I'm off sex while we do this. He's gotta keep his image clean, and you know people are watching me like a hawk, waiting for me to screw this sideways. Oh yeah. So, how's the off-sex thing going? I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, you call for anything else besides to gush about a video? Oh yeah, actually I did. Did you know the local television station wants to interview you guys? Which? The one in Austin, damn. The one in the city where we actually live. I saw the email come through this morning. It's got you both on it, so I'm sure he and his manager are looking over it too. Yeah, Ray's stomach nodded, I bet they are. Also, delete your junk mail. Right. His mind raced, and his junk mail was the least of his worries. He had mixed feelings about being on the news beside Josiah, talking about a supposedly fake relationship. On the one hand, the relationship had been real to him from the start, but on the other hand, were they taking things too far? Were they setting themselves up for a disastrous breakup? Ray tucked a few stray locks of dark hair behind his ear as he sighed. Anyway, let me hit you back later. I need to get some work done. Gwyneth laughed. Work like Josiah? No. As he worked to usher his business partner off the phone, his cell phone buzzed in his hand. He had another incoming call, and this one was from his father. He had been a little queasy before, but now he knew he was going to be sick. Gwen. My father's calling. I need to take this. Oh boy. Her playful tone dropped too. Yeah, I forgot about him. If you need to call me back after you talk to him, you can. Ray's eyes already burned with tears. I'll see, he mumbled before he switched over. Hello? My son. Hey Dad. How's it going? How is it going? You tell me. Ray pushed himself up from his seat at the kitchen table, shutting his laptop as his legs started to bounce. He knew what was coming, and his whole body flushed hot and warm, voice tight as he worked up a reply for the older man. Well, my general approval rating is going up, and so are our numbers. His father clicked his tongue. This is not what I am calling about. Okay, then what are you calling about? How does it look for me to turn on my email and see my son next to the son of Lamar Nelson? Well, I don't know how it looks for you. It looks shameful. It is shameful. You are betting a snake. First, Dad, he's a virgin, and second, he's not a snake. Is it so? A creature born of two snakes is also a snake, is it not? Dad, your proverbs aren't meant to be used in reference to people. We're not snakes. We have much more brain capacity, and Josiah can make his own decisions. Don't say his name. Ray's nostrils flared. Josiah is a good person, and I care about him, and this is good for business too. Ignore your problems with him and his family, and look at how my image has improved. Bad boy turned boyfriend. It's a brilliant headliner. I will not praise you for finally honoring your family name through someone else's hard work. I work hard, but people aren't looking at hard work, Dad. They're looking at the whole person, and Josiah specializes in social presence. I do not care what he specializes in. The whole lot of them are snakes, and you shouldn't get involved. Why not? Don't be defiant for the sake of being defiant. This isn't about you and him. This is about our family name. What would your grandfather think if he knew you were with a Nelson? My grandfather is dead, so I don't think he cares at all. Ray's father's anger spiked. He could sense it through the cell phone, and Ray smiled. The man deserved it. And this. I'd rather my son be an embarrassment in private than one in public. No, Dad, I'm not ending it. He winced as he spoke. He knew he was playing with fire, but these last weeks with Josiah, seeing Josiah blossom, connecting with him, they had been the best few weeks of his life, and he wasn't ending it over an age-old family honor system that should have died a long time ago. As Ray's argument with his father escalated, Josiah peeked out of his bedroom. He cracked the door at first, but at Ray's last words he emerged from the room completely and padded towards the beginning of the hallway, bracing a hand on the wall. Ray looked up at Josiah and paused. His dad had started on a loud, anger-fueled tirade, but Ray stopped listening as he looked on the other man. He had known he was a goner the second Josiah kissed him in the bar, but each passing day Josiah grew more beautiful to him, and each day he craved the other man a little more. Whatever, Dad. I'm not ending it, and I gotta go. Ray ended the phone call without waiting for a goodbye, and tossed the cell phone on the couch. Josiah's gaze tracked it before he turned wide brown eyes back to Ray. Is everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. It didn't sound like it, Josiah hinted, folding his arms over his chest. Your father sounded angry. You heard him? The conversation was hard to ignore. He got very loud. Yeah, Ray scratched the back of his head. He gets loud when he's passionate about something. Josiah gave a terse nod. Passionate about our relationship? Why didn't you just tell him it was fake? I didn't want to. It being fake is our business, and if too many people know, then it'll ruin the whole thing. I guess, but it would have saved you from being yelled at. Ray shrugged. He would have found something else to be upset about. Don't worry about it. I would never try to hurt you or your family, you know. Yeah, I know. My dad is just carrying an old grudge from my grandfather. It's stupid. Josiah frowned. I'm sorry about it too. I don't want to live in the shadow of my family's stupid actions, and I'm nothing like them. Yeah, I know. I told him you weren't, but he was too angry to listen. He drummed his fingers on the hallway wall. I heard, he murmured, then he pushed himself off the wall and across the room. I was going to make myself something to eat. Ray arched an eyebrow. Ah. Okay. Yeah. Josiah peeked into the refrigerator, freezer, and cabinets. What are you going to make? I don't know yet. He continued browsing the kitchen until he regarded Ray again. Have you seen the tabloids and gossip sites? No, I haven't, but my business partner told me about them today. Apparently people really like us as a couple. They do. Much more than I expected. Is it a bad thing? Ray hooked his thumbs in his pockets, posting himself at the kitchen entrance and leaning against the door frame. Did you know there are videos dissecting our video and analyzing every glance we shared? I mean, no, but are they good videos? Ray. It's not the point. People think this is real. They're going to be devastated when we break up, and I don't know, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Did you get the email about the interview? Josiah fumbled with the pots and pans already scattered over the stove, before groaning and nodding. I think it's too much. Like, social media is one thing, but an official interview. People like happy endings. I guess, but this won't end happily. How do you know? Josiah glared at Ray. Don't taunt me. Nothing about this relationship will transfer to long term. With a soft rumble, Ray moved over to him, covering Josiah's trembling hands with his own. You know, if you keep thinking about all the long-term stuff, you'll stop enjoying the short-term stuff. Josiah glanced over his shoulder at Ray. The short-term? How we're pretending to be interested in each other. Who says I'm pretending? Josiah's attention went from Ray's eyes to his lips, and his pupils dilated, growing larger with his own physical interests. Are you pretending? You've watched the video. You edited it, after all. You tell me. Am I pretending? If you are, Josiah sighed, then you're in the wrong profession. You should have been an actor. Are you pretending? Ray closed the distance between them, spinning Josiah around and trapping him between the counter and his body. Ray's cock was instantly hard. Even if they had consummated their relationship, he still would have been rock hard and begging for more of Josiah, but it was worse since they hadn't. Josiah's cock responded too, much to the other man's embarrassed displeasure, and he let out a little whimper. And no, he mumbled, I like you. I know. You wouldn't let me this close if you didn't. I'm trying not to though, Josiah shot back. It was a childish reply, they both knew it, and after he spoke, his cheeks bloomed with a deep red. You're failing then. Ray pressed his lips into Josiah's cheek. I'm going to go take a shower while you work on dinner for us, huh? Josiah wet his lips. Yeah. It might be sandwiches or plain noodles. I'm not really a good cook. I know. Ray stroked Josiah's chin, threatening him with the possibility of another kiss. Yeah. Josiah responded to Ray's threat by lifting his chin, parting his full lips and lazily batting his eyelids, but Ray didn't honor him with one. Instead, he stroked Josiah's lips with his thumb and pulled away. I'll be back, he promised as he exited the kitchen.